My name is Daniela Gergel-Gualdi and I am the Artistic Director for Ronald Sachs International Music Competition. We are proud to present to you a series of interviews with our finalists. Hi Morgan.
Hi.
How are you today?
Good. How are you?
We're good. I'm good. I'm very excited. Thank you for agreeing for this interview. We are very excited to hear you play for the Ronald Sachs International Music Competition. In about 4 weeks, we're going to be live. What is that? May 16th, a Saturday. And you are playing in senior division and you're a pianist. Mm-hmm. So I also wanted to just say congratulations, because this year the pool of finalists, participants and juniors were just really super high, and judges were really struggling to make a decision. And so I am very excited to extend my congratulations to you, and being very excited to hear you play in our finals round. But this is not your first experience with Ronald Sachs, right?
Yeah, this is my third time doing the final round for Ronald Sachs. So it's nice to come back and sort of use it as a like guidepost to see how I improved from the previous year. So
very good. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, when did you start playing piano, and why piano in general, and who are your teachers, and where do you study now?
Mm-hmm. Well, I started playing piano when I was 11 years old, so that was 9 years ago. Now I'm 20. And I started studying with a neighborhood teacher named Shar Solomon. And she was really, really nice and really helped grow my love of music. And originally, I really just wanted to play flute because I was so into recorder. I had like an alto recorder and everything in elementary school. So I just planned to play flute. And then my mom had my sisters and I just kind of try piano. And then after my first lesson, I just came right home. And at the time, we just had a keyboard and just went straight to the keyboard to practice right away. And after crying about bass clef for about 2 minutes, I was like, okay, wait, I really like this. Just because you have all of the music there. It's like you have the harmony, the melody, all of the texture. And so even though I was like, well, I can't really do this at all right now, I knew that I really wanted to become good at it and have that be at least a major part of my life from the very beginning. And after that, I studied with her for about 5 years and was going to Brevard Music Center in the summers, and then switched to study with Dylan Savage at UNC Charlotte. I was still in high school, but I took lessons from him for a little under a year, and ended up auditioning for UNCSA, UNC School of the Arts, for the high school program, and have studied with Dmitri Steinberg there ever since my senior year of high school. So. Mm-hmm.
And you're happy with your choice of college?
Yeah, I'm so glad I decided to stay there because, just in that first year with him in high school, it was like, oh, wow, this is really changing my playing. And as I was taking lessons with other people a little bit, looking towards college, it was like, well, I don't think that, this is really going to be as effective teaching for me right now. And so he's really transformed my playing. And so that's all I could have ever wanted from my undergraduate experience. So, yeah.
So how many years do you still have in your undergrad?
So I just have 1 more year. And so this coming year, hopefully we'll start back up at the normal time. And then I'll be doing all of the pre-screening and auditions for graduate school recordings.
Where do you think you're going to go for grad school?
Yeah. Well, it just depends. I met quite a few teachers already that I liked and that I think would be very helpful for me to study with at the Pennies Festival last summer. where they have like 18 to 20 teachers and you have lessons with pretty much all of them, which is amazing. And so that was great, but there's definitely still so many places where I haven't met any of the teachers yet. So I want to make sure I'm exploring that over the summer and fall semester. But yeah, I mean, I definitely want to go to hopefully a really big school where there's lots of talented players you can collaborate with chamber music and performance opportunities. So.
Do you enjoy playing chamber music?
Yeah, it's nice. I haven't done as much of it as I would like, but over summer festivals,
Yeah.
it's my favorite time to do it.
What could you tell us about maybe some highlights of your career so far? Something that you would really like us to know that you have done and that you're really proud of?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I've been lucky to be able to do other competitions and play with orchestra. But I think the biggest thing for me was when I was 18, I came up with a program that I called the Creativity Workshop, which that name apparently already has been taken for something else, so I have to change it. But yeah, that was basically, it was a free program for the community in Concord, where I live. And it had about 30 minutes of live music, and then the rest of the time were different activities. And the overall goal was to help use classical music to stimulate creative thinking in participants. And the way that this happened was we tried to actually have them experience the different worldviews throughout history. So like Enlightenment, Romantic, Impressionistic. And really experience that instead of just hearing about it. So there was solo piano music, there was, visual arts, different types of movement and activities, whether it's just like writing a list of words or coloring and all sorts of things. Yeah, and that was really fun because it combined so many things that I love, like solo piano music and also just history and art, and also getting to interact with people. And everybody really liked it. It was really well attended. The place where I did it at a local library had a pretty nice piano, and they were really supportive, and they even paid me for it, even though I was just doing it to see if there was interest. So I think that can be very beneficial to sort of help teach people how to think of different ways to live, to not be stuck in like this one mindset, or I just need to worry about what's for today, what's for tomorrow, or what's on my computer, and realize there are these bigger ways of thinking. There's a whole history of human thought and creativity. And I think approaching our current issues in that way can be very helpful in keeping us on the right track with our priorities. So yeah. I hope to keep growing that throughout my whole career. That's more of a life goal. Yeah.
Can you, you said you played for other competitions. And we were wondering, why did you apply for Ronald Sachs competition? And why do you think competitions in general are important for a young career? And what do you hope that you will gain from the experience through Ronald Sachs International Music Competition?
Yeah, well, I mean, I started off doing some really small local competitions and kind of went from there. And I think the biggest thing for me is that I really learned how to prepare pieces really well from doing competitions, where kind of before I started doing them, I wasn't even really performing very much before I came to UNCSA. And so it just helps you develop a more organized way of like learning pieces for performance or bringing back an old piece for performance. And so that's been really helpful for me. With the Ronald Sachs competition, I really like it because just over the past 3 years I've done it, just seeing how it's grown and how there's more and more people from other places. Like this year, the senior piano division, it's like top conservatories. It's like, wow. So I think that's awesome because for me, having to drive there, like, oh, well, it's in North Carolina, so that's convenient, but also it has this bigger scope of like, it's not just people from North Carolina, and it makes you feel more included in the overall like music population of like my age group. So I think it's a good way to, well, I think specifically from this competition, it's just a good way to expose yourself to the level in other places. And I mean, even if you don't win, but then you still get practice preparing and kind of just see where you are. So I think that's good.
So when you're preparing a program for the competition, how long does it take you to prepare it? Do you sometimes review program, like do you play old pieces or it's all new? And if it is, how long did it take you to learn it?
Yeah, well, this particular program is all older stuff that I brought back for the recordings and I'm bringing back for the competition. So it's kind of hard to say, but I realized that I actually learned like one piece per each year at my current school. So I learned the Ocean's Etude in when I was 17. I learned the F major Chopin Etude when I was 18, the Ligeti Etude when I was 19, and learned the Valses Nobles Sentimental this year, being 20. So.
So what do you do when you're not playing piano, practicing hours on hours a day? And did this current situation change your habits? Do you do something differently now? On your music list when you're listening, is it only Chopin and Liszt, or do you have other genres? Do you enjoy other type of music? And just a little bit something that is not you as a classical pianist.
Yeah, well, I will say, first of all, talking about changes is that, yeah, becoming more serious at piano definitely changed my normal hobbies. But overall, I love whenever I'm not practicing or like working or doing homework, just to read for fun. I think that's really healthy just because so many times we just read what we have to. And so, yeah, I love reading, and sometimes I love cooking. Mostly I love cooking when I'm not starving. You know, it's like when it's not desperate, I love cooking. And yeah, just like drinking tea. I don't know. I love just like listening to music. Oh, going outside sometimes for walks when I can, because we spend so much time inside. And talking to friends when I can is also great. And as far as music, yeah, when I'm just casually listening, I listen to a lot of jazz, although I don't know much about it. And bossa nova, I think, is super fun. It's just mood. And then one of my friends introduced me to a lot of actually traditional Mexican music and mariachi, which I think is also really cool because there's the emotional scope is so raw and different than things we hear in American pop music. So that's just been an interesting sort of thing to be exposed to.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's very, very cool. You're a very sophisticated young lady and such a romantic soul. I really enjoyed speaking with you. And I know you from the previous years, but I was really excited to introduce you to our audience. So thank you again for this wonderful interview and for your sweetness. And we wish you all the best of luck and to stay healthy. And we will see you then in a very shortly, few weeks, and it's coming up.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you and stay safe. Bye-bye. Bye, Morgan. Bye.